Welcome to the demonstration of Donorfy, and thank you for considering Donorfy for the CRM for your nonprofit. I'm going to take you through a full demonstration of the Donorfy system today, and there are two different versions of Donorfy, the Essentials version and the Professional version, with slightly different features in each, and I'll try and point those out as we go. As you can see, the system itself is browser-based and hosted in the cloud, so you'll be able to access it from anywhere. And as I log into the system, I'm able to see a dashboard which brings in statistics from various parts of the system to show donations and various things that are happening in the system. You're able to customize this and drag information around to customize what you want to see in your dashboard. At the top there is your charity's name. There's also a taskbar, and there are various points of the system where you can set up a task for yourself. We call records within Donorfy constituents, and you can have any number of different constituent types that you like. We encourage you to keep these quite high level, and then we use something called tags to be able to further classify constituents. But you could have things like tribute funds if you wanted to, as well as companies, individuals, places of worship, and anything else you want in the system. Let's take a look at one of these constituents now. So within the system, you're able to store all of their contact details and email, address, phone numbers, and you can store up to 3 different types of contact details as well. A lot of Donorfy gets updated automatically if you're making the most of the integrations and Donorfy forms as well. And Donorfy also helps you with your GDPR compliance, and one of the ways that happens is through the Preference Center. So at various different points, your supporter is able to update their preferences. So if you're making the full use of the integrations, a lot of this information will be updated automatically. So for example, if they book a ticket through Eventbrite and update their preferences, make a donation or update their preferences through MailChimp, then all of that will feed through into the Preference Center. But you can also update it manually. So you can turn on and off which channels they want to hear from you and which purposes they want to hear about as well. I can confirm those preferences, and that will update the preferences and also populate the history tab as well, so that you can see a full history of everything that's been changed by who and when. The tags part of Donorfy is completely customizable, so all of these boxes and the tags within them, you can have whatever you like. Many of these can be added manually or automatically. So manually, just to show you, I could add a tag and remove it if I want to. Automatically, then it can come through the forms with Donorfy, which I'll take you through later. On the professional version of Donorfy, you can also have automated tags. So you can see there's one here called Donor High Value. And when I click on it, it tells me that it was added by auto tagging overnight, and what it's done is looked at how much they're giving, so this top value here at the top, how much they've given, and then classified them as a high, medium or low value donor. And you can use those auto tags for anything you like. It doesn't just have to be about donors, it can also be about event attendance, whether their DBS checks expiring, anything that you like, and anywhere that information is stored within Donorfy, you can see it here. You can also add tags through forms. So if I head to the forms part of Donorfy, we can just see a simple contact form first of all, which could replace your existing contact form on your website. And these are forms that you can completely configure to your branding. So if I just preview this form a second, I'll be able to see the entire form here. So this could replace your existing contact form on your website, and it can be embedded in your website as well if you wanted to. If they updated their preferences, or they could tick a button to say, for example, they were interested in becoming a volunteer, then that would add a tag to their record if you wanted it to. Once you hit the submit button, that will go straight onto their record. It will try and find the person using all of the details here and add it to their existing record. But if they did something else, like their first name was slightly different to what you have recorded, it would add a new record in Donorfy, but then you can use the duplicate checker under data management here to flag any potential duplicates. And that happens with any kind of data entry that happens. all of your potential duplicates will show here, and you can merge them or mark them as not duplicates. For example, if 2 people share the same email address, you can mark them as not duplicates. Just to say, with the forms, with the Essentials version of Donorfy, you can have up to 3 forms, and with the professional version, that is unlimited. Let's head back to the record now and see what else we can see about them. So you can also record connections, which are any relationships that individuals or companies have with other constituents on the system. So you can have any number of connections between people. For example, if you wanted to see everybody who worked at a certain company, or if you wanted to see which individuals were connected to each other, then you can use the network map to be able to see a full picture of their network. We also want to record their fundraising pages, and because Donorfy integrates with Just Giving, Facebook Giving Tools and Virgin Money Giving as well, then you're able to see all of their giving that's happened all in one place. Just Giving, all of that data comes through automatically for you into Donorfy. You just have to set up the integration, but there's nothing else that you need to do. With Facebook and Virgin Money Giving, we've tried to make the process as easy as possible for you. So you just need to upload your file as it comes out from Facebook or Virgin Money Giving, if it's Virgin Money Giving, and that will show you all of your fundraising pages and import that data into Donorfy in the right place. The fundraisers will all show here, so whether it's a birthday fundraiser, whether it was a generic fundraiser that they set up for you, they'll all be shown here on the system. You can also see any donations that have come through, so people who've donated, if they've given you their information, then you'll be able to see that here, and then it will also be soft credited to the fundraiser as well. You can also send them messages. So Facebook, when it doesn't give you enough information, you can try and encourage them to give you further information through Donorfy messages. So these are messages that you can create, and it's linked to a form that you can have within Donorfy that picks up what information you already hold about them. You can then send this to them to ask for further details. For example, if they want to stay in touch, what they want to hear from you, if you want to add tags, you can do whatever you like on that form. And then you can keep track of what messages that have been sent using the message history. So you just create the message from their fundraiser, and then it will show you the history of messages that have been sent to them as well. We recommend you send those through a private Facebook message, just because it will hold information about them rather than through their fundraiser page. When I click onto Andrew's record then, because we integrate with all 3 systems, you'll be able to see all of the fundraising that has happened to them in one place. So you can see their most recent fundraising pages. You can also see a history of their fundraising that they've done to you, done for you through the different platforms as well, and that's all in one place. The other part of the profile that I want to show you is the timeline. So this is a full history of everything that's happened with a constituent. Again, a lot of this will be updated automatically through the integrations. So if somebody signs up to an event on Eventbrite, or if they receive a mailing through MailChimp, if they send a donation through your website, then all of that will appear on their record. But you can also add manual entries to the timeline as well. So any activities, gift aid declarations, transactions, so any donations, recurring payment instructions, and you can send documents from their timeline as well. So I will just add a phone call activity to their record. I can link it to a certain campaign, and we'll come on to campaigns in a moment. I can add any notes, and I can also create a task for myself if I want to, which I can assign to myself or to somebody else in the team. You can then send a notification for that task where, if you put a due date on it, whoever you send that to, whether it's yourself or somebody else, then they will receive an email with a calendar invite for that due date, so that you can either keep track of your tasks through your calendar, whether you're using Google, Outlook or anything else, or you can also keep track of it through the taskbar in Donorfy as well. So when I hit save, that will appear on the timeline, and it will also show the task in here as well. It will be on Jenny's profile this time. Again, many of the transactions will come through automatically through the integrations, but we can also add them manually as well. I'll show you manually first, and then we can go through the automated route as well. You can allocate donations to different funds. So if one of them wasn't actually a donation, so if £50 went towards a donation, but then £50 went towards an event registration fee, for example, then I can split that out on their record. One reason for doing that might be that event registration fees aren't eligible for gift aid, and as part of the gift aid claim we want to make sure that we're only reclaiming on the part of the donation which is eligible for gift aid. So that transaction has appeared on here. If that was an automated transaction, so if we go back to the Donorfy forms here, we're able to see a slightly different version of a form, which is a donation. So these can be added to existing forms, or you can create new ones if you like. You're able to set suggested donation amounts if you would like, whether they're giving as a one-off donation or a monthly donation. You can set different amounts. One-off donations are processed through Stripe or PayPal, and monthly donations are processed as a card transaction through Stripe or as a direct debit through Go Cardless, and you are able to have full control over what choices you give to people. You can also add a gift aid declaration, so that will automatically add a gift aid declaration to their record if they tick that box, and then that will go through to the gift aid claim as soon as they hit donate. As part of that donation, they can be automatically thanked, so you can set up acknowledgements that will be sent out automatically based on how they donate to you, so it can be automated if you like. It will pull in different details about how much they donated, when they donated, the gift aid, anything that you like on that template. However, if you're very close with your donors and you want to personalize it before it gets sent out, then you can add additional text here. So you can choose for it not to go out automatically and bring it into this acknowledgements queue. And this acknowledgements queue will also be used for any other ways that people donate if they're not automatically being thanked. So Preeti's donation that she made for £100 will be showing here. And then I can personalize that and then send that acknowledgement out to her. The gift aid claim is something that we can do on your behalf as part of the professional version of Donorfy. So I can see a full list of eligible gift aid transactions. Now I can see the donation that we added to Preeti's timeline earlier, which was for £100, but it's only going to try and reclaim the gift aid on £50 of the donation, because £50 of it was for an event registration fee, and I've told Donorfy that that's not eligible for gift aid, so it will only try and take it on the general donation that she gave and not the events donation. The other part of financial, so once a donation has been made, you will then want to reconcile it with your account system. You can use the accounts download for QuickBooks and Sage, or you can, if you're using Xero, you can use the Xero integration, which will send your transactions directly into Xero for full reconciliation. If you want to know more about that, just get in touch with one of the team. The campaigns part of Donorfy will help you to manage all of your different campaigns, appeals, mailing campaigns that are being sent out. So if I head over to one of these campaigns, I'm able to see a full analysis of what's happened. So all of the donations that happened a couple of years ago, I'm able to see how that changed over time. You can see how much was given in total, average gifts, largest gifts. You can also record the expenses as well. So you can see how much everything cost, whether it is a fixed cost per audience or per transaction, and whether the expense is actual or budgeted as well. That will then feed through into the expenses number here, which will then help you calculate the return on investment for each of your campaigns, so you can see how well your different campaigns are performing. You can also link your campaigns to your MailChimp campaigns, so you can see at a glance how well they're performing, and then click through to MailChimp to see that in more detail. You can also link your campaigns to your events on Eventbrite, so you can see, if you set up the integration, you'll be able to see all of your events on here, and then you can link any bookings that come in will be automatically assigned to this campaign when they come into Donorfy, and you can use that for your reporting. The next part of Donorfy I want to show you is lists, and these are a really powerful feature within Donorfy that allows you to report on any part of the system. So any transactions, any thing that is happening within the profile, you're able to report on it essentially using the list. So I want to look for donors who've given over £100 in the last 12 months. So I can set up the filters, which will enable me to just look for those constituents. And then it will give me a big long list of people who meet that criteria. With that data, I can download them. I can tag them in bulk, which is helpful if you're using the free version. If you're using the professional version, you can also use this to auto tag records which are in the list as well. I can print this data, I can archive it, and I can sync it to MailChimp. So whenever you press the sync to MailChimp button, any people that are in this list, their data will get sent over to MailChimp, and all of their tags, their contact details can all be sent over to MailChimp and updated so that you've always got the latest version of their contact details, and you can keep both your audiences in sync as well. If we go back to the campaigns, within MailChimp you can use MailChimp to send out segmented lists, but for your direct mail campaigns, you may want to segment your list. So you can do this using the campaign members, and you can build lists one on top of the other to be able to send different messages to different people based on the list that you've got here. So you can send different messages to people who attended a certain event, down to people who have donated up to £50, and then people who gave last year, and then the rest of the people who don't fit in any of those criteria. So it just means that you can send out different communications to different segments from Donorfy. The other thing that I can do from Donorfy is use triggers to send automated emails from MailChimp as well. So it could be that somebody has donated a certain amount. It could also be that they have become a regular donor, that they've had a certain activity added to their profile. And we can do many different things with this. So you can start a Zap if you like, and send a notification to Slack or an email or something like that. But you can also sync it to MailChimp as well. So our trigger here is that an RPI gets added, so they become a regular donor essentially. As soon as that gets added, it can then initiate a MailChimp automation, which could be that it sends them a series of automated emails from MailChimp once they've become a regular donor. With the Essentials, so the free version of Donorfy, you can have up to 3 triggers within your system, and with the professional version you can have as many as you like, so it's unlimited. I want to take you through the opportunities feature, which is available on the professional plan of Donorfy and allows you to manage all of your asks to major donors. So all of these opportunity types are configurable, and the boards that go with them. So each opportunity type will have its own board, and this is just a set of processes that you will go through that you can customize as part of your application or whatever opportunity you're going for. So for example, the corporate sponsorship board looks very different to the grant application board because you'll go through a different set of processes to manage that. You can also have non-financial processes. So for example, we've got a volunteer recruitment, but you might be able to think of some other ways that you could manage things. You can also report on these as well. So you can see at a glance what your pipeline looks like for your different applications when money is due to come in. You can also see how many are in each different stage, your open pledges, and we'll come on to pledges in a moment, and you're able just to see all of that at a glance. Let's have a look at one of these opportunities now. This opportunity can be created as soon as you create the application. But first of all, you might want to do some research on them. You might want to do some scoring with them, so how much they're likely to give, how likely they are to give, and your connection strength. You can also record the typical gift size, how much you're going to ask for, where they like to fund, what they like to fund, any research notes. You can add attachments to the record as well. You can also have a solicitation plan, and then you can see a history of your asks to them, so the history of their opportunities here as part of the prospect research panel. So this is something that's available in the professional version of Donorfy. So if I then go onto the opportunity, I will be able to see the further details of it. So I can see how much we're asking for, if it's linked to a particular campaign, what stage we're at the moment. As part of the campaign, you can also list different items that you're fundraising for as part of the opportunity. And and then you can add these to the ask if you want to. You can link the opportunity to a particular fund, a deadline date, say when you're expecting to receive the money by, also add any notes and further documents that are specific for this application as well. The timeline, so we had a timeline on the profile. You can also have a timeline for the individual's record as well, and you can record any meetings or anything that's happened as part of that. With the professional version of Donorfy, you also get access to something called Send to Donorfy. So this is an email address that you can blind CC into any communications that you have with individuals or companies, and that will make a copy directly on their Donorfy record for you. So all of your emails and communications with individuals and organisations can be saved in Donorfy using the Send to Donorfy email address. You can also create tasks as part of the application. So you can create your own tasks. You can also ask Donorfy to automatically create tasks for you as you move the opportunity through the different stages. So I've got a big long list here, and then you can go through those as you need to do them. If you're successful in the application, you'll then be able to add the pledges to the opportunity, and you can keep track of those, so you can see when you're expected to get the money in, whether it's been paid. You can mark it when it's close to coming. You can create a task to remind you. You might need to invoice for it, so you can send the invoice, then mark it as paid, and that will create a transaction on the record to show that they've given to you. So you'll be able to see a full history of the transactions as part of this particular opportunity, and that will also be added to their record as well. The settings part of Donorfy is used to configure everything, so create your tasks, different activity types, set out all your different products and funds. Everything that you want to do to customize Donorfy can be done through the configuration. You can have an unlimited number of users with any versions of Donorfy, and you're able to have a full view of all of your users within here and have full control over what they do and what they see. You can have the viewer permissions if you want to. You can also have the standard permissions. So it might be that you just want a trustee to come and view certain pieces of information, see all your grant applications but not see anything else. Or the standard, it might be that you have a volunteer or members of staff who you only want to see certain parts of Donorfy, so you can turn different things on and off. And then administrator gets full access over everything as well. So thank you for watching this demonstration of Donorfy. If you want to look into it a bit further, there are a few options. You can get in touch with us if you'd like to know a bit more. And if you've got any questions, just head to our website and you can book a chat in with one of our team. You can also have a look at our pricing page, which has details of all the features that are available on the Essentials and Professional plan, so you can see which ones you'll need specific for you and your organisation. The prices for the professional plan start at £59 plus VAT per month. And in terms of setting up your Donorfy, there are a few different options. So you can either set it up yourself, you can use our onboarding service, or you can work with one of our trusted partners to help you set up your Donorfy. So do book in a chat with us if you want to discuss any of that in any more detail. Thank you so much for watching this demo, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.